Welcome the CS Tech Solution. Today is learn second topic is version control in AWS DevOps. Version control in is a system that track changes to the files over the time, so you can as a revert to the earlier versions and work collaboratively without overwriting the other works, and track how the made, what the change, and why. And the types of version control systems as a local VSC is a version is stored a single machine, and second is a centralized VCS is a one central server is V sorry as a SVN, and the distributed VCS is every users have a full copies as a Gits. Let's check in detail. Git basic details as a Git is a distributed version control system that created by the Linux core world in 2005, and key features of Git is distributed as a no single point of failures, and fast and efficient, and support the branching and merging, and track the complete histories of the changes, and open source. Let's check is common Git terminologies is repositories as a called as a repo, and the project folders tracked by the Gits, and the commit is a snapshot of the change with a message, and the branches is the parallel versions of the code, and the merge is a combine the branches, and the clown is copy the remote repo to the local machines, and the push is upload the local commit to the remote repo, and the pull is down the update sorry as a download the update from the remote repo. It is called as the repositories, and the basic Git workflows as modify the file, and stage and changes, and the commit changes, and the push to the remote repositories. Let's check as a important Git command. First is git and enit is initialize, so initialize the repositories, and git clown and counts as a is less than and greater than inside the URL is a clown the repositories, and the git status is check the file status, and the git add, and the less than and greater than inside the file is a stage of the files, and git add and dot is a stage all the changes, and git as commit hyphen m and double quotes as message is print as a commit the message, and the git push is a push to the remote repository, and git pull is a pull as a update, and git branch is a list of the branches, and git checkout, and less than and greater than inside the branch is switch the branches in one branch to the another branch. Advantages of the Gits is enable the teamworks as a prevent the code loss, and easy rollbacks, track a change histories, and widely used in the industries, and second is a version control topics is four topics is included in these chapters as a GitHubs as a cloud based Git repositories hostings, and third is a GitLabs is a Git repositories with built in the CI and CDs pipelines, and fourth is a Bitbucket is Git repositories with the Jira's integrations. Let's check in all the topics in detail. First is 2.1 is a Git. First command is a Git setup and configuration. Git setup and configuration is a process of initializing Gits and defining the user specific settings so the Git can correctly track the authorships and behaviors and preference across repositories, and this the settings are the usual down ones and after the installations and apply the globally to all the Git projects is unless overridden locally. And the common git setup commands is git and double hyphen versions is check the git versions, and git config and the double hyphen global and the user dot name and double quotes inside the username is your names is right is set the global username, and git config and double hyphen as a global and the user dot email and the double quotes inside the email to as to write as a your dot email at the rate example.com is a set of global email, and to set a git dot config and double hyphen global and the core dot editors and double quotes inside the vim is a set default editors, and the git and config and double hyphen global is the same of all the lines of codes, but after as to changes is initialized dot default branch as a main, and set the default branch name, and git config and double hyphen as a list. List is view the git as a configuration, and git help is get the help for the git commands. And the second is creating and cloning the repositories, and the create and cloning the repositories is a process of starting the new git project and the locally or copying and existing the repositories from the remote servers, and this allow you to track changes and collaborate and sync codes with others. And the key commands is git initialize is initialize a new git repositories, and the git clone and less than and greater than inside the repo underscore urls is a repository's url to write the clone and existing the repositories, and the git remote add origin and less than and greater than inside the repositories url, and the link of the local repositories to the remote repositories, and git remote hyphen v is a list of the remote repositories to show. And third command is staging and committing a change, and the staging and committing is a process of selecting which changes in your the project and should be saved in git repositories, git histories, and then the recording them as a commits, and which act like a snapshot of your the project at the specific point in times. And the key commands as a git status is check the status of the change, and git add and less than and greater than inside the files is add the files of the staging areas, and git add and dots is add all the files of the staging areas, and git commit and hyphen m and double quotes inside the message is a commit message is a commit stage is file commit stage files, and git commit and hyphen am and the double quotes as a commit message is add and commit is change in the one steps, and git commit and double hyphen a amend AMEND and hyphen M, and the double quotes inside the new message is modify the last commit message. Thank you to watch the videos. Please subscribe the channel, on the notification and bell icon. Thank you so much guys to watch the videos.